So I wanted to start with some language, just so we're all speaking the same language. Over here really shows a good visual of it. The parts of the stone. The flat part will be the table. Around here is the crown. The center part is the girdle. And the bottom is the pavilion. And the tip is the culet. When we set it into our basket setting, our culet's going to want to fall 50% between the upper and lower gallery, which is these two wires. And the table is going to want to sit flat. I'm going to start demoing, and Zachary's going to narrate for me.
Okay, great.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Zachary.
Hey, Zachary.
I'm a student here at North Bennett Street School in the jewelry making and repair department. So we're going to watch Kaylee take a head and find symmetry in the head so the stone sits nicely in it and flat and symmetrical. And then we're going to watch her cut seats, which she just showed you on the diagram over there. So I will do my best to narrate as she goes along and kind of hope that neither me or her break a stone in the process. So it'll be fun. So right now she's just going through and checking that that each of the prongs of the head is the correct distance from kind of the center line of the head drawn down, and adjusting what you need to in order to gain that symmetry. So when you put the stone to rest on the top and see if it matches, you have the prongs at the correct distance from the center. Therefore, supporting the seat, once you go to cut those seats, supporting the stone symmetrically in the head. So when you look at it, it's not shifted in all funny directions. What we're working on are basket heads that are post earrings. The post is actually stabilized in this holding, this GRS ring clamp. And now she's going through and just filing the tops so they're all flush as well. And in order to do that, you need to measure the distance between the bottom of the girdle, right there, and coming just 120% above the table and crown. So that's what she's doing right now. And she's going to do it with her dividers. And then she's going to mark lines on the prong so she knows exactly where to cut her seats. Okay, now she's coming in and cutting her seats. To use that, she's using a setting burr, which is also depicted over here in this graph. It's slightly smaller than the stone, meaning that when she comes in, she's cutting each prong individually, and she wants it to be small enough where it's not catching another prong in that process. There are times when you use a size-on burr and cut all of them at the same time. That is not what we're doing here. So when you're cutting these seats, you want them to come in 50%. So resting 50% of the prong width. You kind of start off in like 30%, one cut to 30% with all of them, and then you take each one. And sometimes you're going to have to adjust depending on this girdle of the stone is not always perfect. You can imagine, these are cut by hand too. So you have a big girdle on this side and a small girdle on this side. So you have to adjust your seats to match the stone so the table of the stone sits in line symmetrically and level with the upper gallery and lower gallery.
That will show you how to set.
Sure.
So if you look, Zach has a stone in there with a level table exactly where it needs to be. The seats are cut just for that stone, and he's getting ready to set it. So he'll take his needle nose pliers. On one side, he's supporting the prong while he folds the other one. Well, kind of gives it a squeeze just to tack it in there. This is called tacking. He'll do that to all four. So this is a prong pusher. It has a channel cut out of it. It's like a flat. Yeah, the channel cutout is in the shape of a prong. We're just going to use that to fold the prongs over onto the stone. So he's going to keep pushing until the prong goes over 50% of the crown. So Zach is just filing down the prongs so they're even. And we're going to take them to very specific heights up the rest of the stone. The prongs themselves are on, like, contacting the stone 50% up the crown. And then the tips of the prong, which go a little bit higher, will be about 75 to 80%. And that's really to protect the stone in a way.
So one of the things that we think about when we're setting stones is not just, is it secure in this moment, but how is that piece going to be functioning in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years? It really depends on the purpose of the piece, right? But one of the things that we really strive for in this program is to make sure that the work we're producing is going to last for a generation and that we know how to fix it when it's already lived its usefulness.